On this week's show, start your engines, floor that accelerator, and slam directly into a concrete wall because we're talking Cars 2. I'm Neth Knowles.
I'm Laura Medeiros.
I'm Rodey Gozum.
I'm Megan Swaine.
And this is Bad with Numbers.
I have a question, and it is, if cars could talk, what would your car say about you? I want to know the deets.
My car would be so mad at me.
Really? Why?
Okay, so my car's Optimus after Optimus Prime. I love him dearly. He's had a tree dropped on it.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes. So my car, I bought it brand new. I'm very, very lucky to have it. It's a little 2014 Hyundai Accent. And a tree branch fell right on top of it. And I've never gotten that repaired. So on the passenger side, there is a huge dent in the frame of the car. And then my bumper on both sides, both driver's side and passenger side, are totally hanging on by a thread. But I don't have $3,000 to spend on a bumper. Are you joking?
$3,000?
$3,000 because they would have to replace the entire bumper because it's the clips that are broken.
Okay.
These little tiny clips. That's what's broken on them. And then there's a huge dent from someone opening their car too fast.
Assholes.
And their door dented mine, and then they took off. I found out after I was done work one day. So he's been through a lot, but it's also protected me from a lot too. So I really appreciate it, and I love my car very dearly.
Do you have a car, Rodey?
I don't, so part of me feels like... No, but the thing is, though, if I were to have a vehicle, a part of me feels like I don't think I'm special to the vehicle that I partake in, is because it's the public transit. I'm just anybody to a public transit bus.
Oh man, once I started driving though, public transit became the worst thing to me. I remember I was texting my boyfriend once I started taking TTC to classes, and there was a rotten banana peel stuffed in between the seats on my first ride on the TTC after that, and I was just like, this is peasant stuff.
Roddy, remember that time that we were on the bus, me, you, and Alex, and that dude just vomited projectile everywhere over the back of the bus and then staggered off it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember that because it's one of those nights where the vomit is just moving along with the momentum and the inertia.
Yeah, it was kind of edging closer.
Oh wow, I hate that.
It's just rolling in rivulets down the floor, treads towards the back.
Thanks, guys. Oh.
Sorry. I think my car would probably say, why are we at the drive-thru every fucking day?
Your car tries to stage an intervention.
I think so. Why are we at the LCBO again?
You doing okay, buddy?
I haven't taken the TTC it'll be a year on Monday since I took the TTC anywhere, so I'm kind of proud of myself for that.
Ooh.
Thanks, pandemic.
Yeah, that's still going on.
I also do not own a car, but I do take the TTC. I'm sure the public transit buses would hate all of us if they could talk. They would probably resent their very existence.
That is true. You're basically just housing human people for the rest of your life.
Yeah, they would probably be like, thanks for saving gas, but I fucking hate you.
True, and if you think about it too, at least with Laura's car, she'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna take you on a little staycation, and then she could go to, I don't know, I can't think of a place, Pickering. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, I'm sure that
it's where cars want to go. They want to go to Pickering.
Well, I take my car everywhere though. Yeah, my car is usually what takes us all to road trips. So it's gone up to North Bay. It's gone up to the really scenic places.
See, I can't imagine why
it's
your
gone
car
all the
hates
way
you.
down to Washington also though.
Oh, you got me beat. I've only driven as far as New York, so.
Heck yeah. No, I love my car dearly, and I hope he knows.
Well, how do you show appreciation to car if you could talk to it? This is a weird conversation now.
This is a weird conversation.
You don't need to talk to it. You just need to wash it and put gas in it regularly, surely.
Change the oil.
It's true. I actually every time that I don't get into an accident, I kind of pat the steering wheel and I'm like, thanks, buddy. Like, thanks for not failing me, brake system, because that's something that really is concerning.
Wow, I just had a thought, and it kind of tangents into what. Oh, never mind. Are we going to introduce it now?
When now?
Good point. Welcome to Bad with Numbers, a podcast about car maintenance. No, wait, a podcast about terrible sequels. This week on the show, we are talking Cars 2 from the year 2011, directed by, John Lasseter.
Dun-dun.
He's a little handsy, that guy, apparently.
He seems to want people to know that he feels super bad about it or something.
If you say so, John Lasseter, if you say so. Oh, man. This is the first animated movie we've done. This is the first Pixar movie we've done. Mm-hmm. It feels wrong to be doing a Pixar movie on this show because I don't know about you guys, but I kind of love Pixar, right?
Oh yeah, they've made some good stuff.
No, yeah, and they, for like any aspiring writer, they're like a go-to if you're lost for like structure and like how to write a story.
Yeah, they're very story first, but like they pick concepts that really work with the technology and show off what they're doing with the animation, but they take those concepts and make really good stories out of them.
Yeah, and I mean, is this the first bad Pixar movie? I mean, what came before this?
I think this is mediocre, which compared to the fact that all their other movies are pretty much most of their movies are fantastic. It puts it at the bottom of the pile, but that's not it's not super low down on the quality scale.
I kind of feel like up to this point they'd been fantastic, with a couple of personal exceptions of movies that I don't outright love, but they've made some kind of questionable ones after this. Cars 3, I guess, being like the prime example. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't love Toy Story 4, so...
I was about to say.
I haven't seen it yet.
It feels like that one really didn't need to exist, in my opinion.
It felt more geared towards, I guess, adults than actual kids. Like, I'm trying to remember the fourth one. What was the experience? It was basically Woody going off on his own and, like, leaving...
Yeah.
Like,
because Woody, his character just didn't feel the same anymore, because with 1, 2, and 3, he was dedicated to his kids. So for him to turn his back on that whole personality, like, anchor, almost, I wouldn't even call it a trait. Like, that's just who he is. So to turn his back on that just kind of felt like abandoning the character in general instead of growing from it.
Wasn't the concept that he was basically trying to get laid with Bo Peep in that movie?
was it?
Pretty much. He was going to run away with Bo Peep.
What?
I did not get that from
Really?
Not at all.
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought I need to watch it again, but because at least with Toy Story, out of all the trilogies, like I didn't think Toy Story 4 was that bad.
I don't think it's bad. It's not bad. It's just kind of... I think, okay, so for me, Toy Story 2 is like the pinnacle of Pixar.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like... It's not just one of my favorite Pixar movies. It's one of my favorite movies outright. Mm-hmm. There was the first film that I took my daughter to see at the cinema. So she was like maybe just under 3 years old. And she was absolutely enwrapped in this movie for 90 minutes. So it has a special place in my heart there. But at the same time, just in terms of like, as far as sequels go, it's probably the best sequel ever made.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree. I just feel as though, okay, when you follow up with Toy Story 3, right? Like that is also iconic for its ending and all the emotions, and it was wrapped up perfectly in my mind. It felt like Toy Story 4 did not need to exist, and with the additions of the voices that they brought in, it felt like a cash grab, and I don't appreciate that.
I mean, I appreciated them having Keanu on a motorbike in that movie. That was kind of about
absolutely
it, right?
okay. Like, and being Canadian at that point, like I do love Duke Kaboom.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Duke Kaboom. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I just know that there's a spork that gains sentience and
Sporky or whatever. Forky, that was it. Yeah. And then it was just really weird also because of the fact that Woody was trying to force Forky to be who he wasn't. And he's just like, I love trash. And I'm like, oh my God, me too. But it was, I don't know. I didn't like Toy Story 4 as much as I felt like I needed to like any kind of Pixar movie. And I feel like Cars 2, I just didn't care for. Like, at least Toy Story 4 is creative. I like the characters. I could see why it exists, even though I don't personally vibe with it. Cars 2... I got nothing.
This movie is utterly charmless as far as I'm concerned.
This is the type of movie that you could see like a mom having on in the background as she's crying and having a breakdown while her two kids are fighting because it wasn't a good enough distraction for those two to keep them under control.
Or they're mimicking the movie by just smashing their toy cars into things.
There you go.
Exactly. Oh,
just
man.
throwing them across the room and stomping on them. And
No, yeah, I think the one thing that I got from this movie when I first, even in the opening scene, I was like, if I were a kid, like, I feel like this is something maybe I would try to do if I had a toy car. I would play around and see what it could do, like maybe pretend it's in a spy mission. Now, next, we're racing really fast. Like, for me, this movie just seemed like a whole bunch of ways that kids could play with their toys.
yeah, oh yeah, no, it combines like the sick racing scenes with really awesome car chases that are supposed to be reminiscent of, I don't know, the Italian Job or something.
I was thinking Die Hard, but with cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think for me, like, part of me probably won't sit through this again, but I appreciate the fact that possibly this helped funded the future movies like Soul and like Inside Out. Because like this movie made them a ton of money just on branding and toys alone. And yeah.
I suppose.
I mean, this movie plays like a toy catalog, right? This is like every other scene they're introducing something that you're going to see some kid screaming at his mom in Walmart to buy him, right? It's insane, the characters that they introduce that just seem purposely there just to sell toys.
Well, yeah, that's why I think I asked you guys, do you know any kids that watch this film? Because I feel like that's the bar. Like, I am not, like, this movie is not here to entertain me. Usually Pixar movies are for the whole family. This one seems more geared towards, like, look at all the fun that can happen with Lightning McQueen, and unfortunately made her.
That was the whole joke when Toy Story 3 came out, because it was so long after, right? Everyone was just like, you're going to see all of these kids lining up for Toy Story 3, and I'm going to barrel them out of my way because I need to go see that instead. But yeah, it didn't feel like anything to me. Cars 2 exists just to exist. It's not for anyone because it's not for kids. It doesn't hold anyone's attention. I didn't hear any kind of buzz when it was coming out.
I think it was panned, like, just overall.
Yeah, this movie's rocking a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. But like Rodey said, huge hit. Made big amounts of money globally, and I'm sure the amount of merchandising Disney pulled in from this is just insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, let's do the box office for this one. So it opened on the 24th of June 2011. It debuted at number 1 and it made 66 million that weekend, on its way to 191 domestic, which is a little low for a Pixar movie, but also still better than most films, and 550 million worldwide. Number 2 that weekend was Bad Teacher, the Cameron Diaz, Jason Segel comedy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Do you guys know the plot of that movie?
No.
Not really.
Cameron Diaz is a bad teacher. That's the plot. Fun fact, though. Cameron Diaz is retired from movies now.
Is she really?
Yeah, she hasn't made a film since 2014. The second to last film that she made was Ridley Scott's The Counselor, in which she fucks a car. Do you guys want to see it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I don't know if I want to.
Wow. That's on a resume.
I wish people could see Roddy's face right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just the furrowed eyebrows. I love it.
That movie's wild. That isn't even the wildest thing in that fucking movie.
Noted. Years ago, when I worked for that adult entertainment company, because I was a moderator for dating websites, I actually wrote a scene that involved a car.
Huh.
Except in that one,
really?
except in that case, it was a gear shift. Yeah.
That's what I was expecting, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be when I pulled this scene up.
Yeah, it ain't quite that. If you haven't seen The Counselor, check it out.
That is quite the splits. Did she do her own stunt there?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Moving along swiftly.
Please.
Number 3 that weekend was a big old fart noise of a movie. Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern.
Oh.
Ooh,
Wait, is that where Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds fell in love?
I think so.
Oh.
Well, at least something came out of that.
No, it's one of those movies that, like, I guess it's going to end with a gigantic blob. Did it have a portal again?
Oh God, I don't remember that movie at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of blotted that one out of my memory. Because I don't care. Number 4 that weekend is J.J. Abrams' Super 8.
Oh, okay.
That was J.J. Abrams?
Yeah, he directed that.
I am just surprised it didn't somehow tie into Cloverfield.
Oh God.
Wait, did it? No, I don't know anymore.
It had a very Cloverfield-esque monster in it, but I don't think there was any kind of like direct tie-in.
Swear to God, I'm going to watch Felicity and be like, oh, by the way, here's some tangent to like Cloverfield.
Yeah, in the background.
Well, that's how he does it.
At number 5 that weekend, Mr. Popper's Penguins. I don't know.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Jim
It was-
Carrey and
Jim
some
Carrey, yeah.
penguins? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's one that Captain, I think, and he really wants to fly super bad, and then spoiler alert, he flies at the end, but not like by flapping his arms. He actually has like a little glider as he's escaping the zoo that they kidnapped him to, and it's just it fills my heart with joy.
That's Mr. Popper's Penguins ruined for me then. Cheers, Laura.
I mean, I was hoping for like some kind of a penguin cannon, but you know, a glider's cool too.
I can see that one.
Penguin cannon.
It could fit right in there.
Kicking around the rest of the top 10, we have got a fuckload of other sequels. We've got definite That's an Episode, The Hangover Part 2.
Same reaction, Laura.
Probable That's an Episode, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. And unlikely to be episodes, but I don't know, X-Men First Class and Kung Fu Panda 2.
Kung Fu Panda 2.
Oh, those are actually really fun. Yeah.
I like Kung Fu Panda 2. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
And X-Men First Class has legitimately, like, memorable scenes.
That's the one where he finds his family or something, right?
Oh, Kung Fu Panda?
Or is that the third one?
That third one, yeah.
Yeah.
The other movie that rounded out that chart that wasn't a sequel was Bridesmaids, which I don't care for, but it gives us a great opportunity, Roddy, to talk about Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
It's the greatest thing ever.
It's kind of fucking awesome, right?
It's so comforting. It's exactly what I want in these times, and it's not like it's basically about friendship, guys, and what else? Hot dog soup and how it could be delicious.
And Jamie Dornan climbing a palm tree in the middle of a song and dance number.
Flipping his feet.
That movie made me really appreciate Jamie Dornan a lot more than I had done previously. All right, that was the box office for Cars 2. I mean, should we just get into this fucking film? I don't know.
Sure.
I kind of struggled with this one. 9 times I paused this to see how long was left.
I stopped watching for a full half an hour before I realized I wasn't watching anymore. So I had to go back and take a look to see if there was anything that I missed that was good. And it was like, no, just a car death.
My mind kept wandering, and then I had to keep backtracking in the movie because I was like, wait, what I missed?
But like, did you find your mind like wandering into just questions about how the hell this world works?
Oh, I have so many questions about how this world works.
Like,
The visual gags just I mean, they're so bizarre. They're just they're so weird.
it's one of the ones that I don't know.
Okay, then no, let's just fucking get it out there. And I think
Yeah.
it's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
Are these cars fucking? And if they are fucking, how are they fucking?
I hear a windshield fucking is pretty.
Yeah, you think they're just counseling it?
It's like a Pleco stuck to the side of a fish tank.
Yeah, no, I like the idea that Roddy had come up when we first brought up car reproduction, where they just go to an assembly line.
Yeah.
And then they choose what like baby car they get. Do you think that it's like smart cars? Or smart cars the babies? Because they're just like little tiny ones?
Aw.
Oh, and they grow into bigger cars?
Yeah. You just get bigger parts later down the road? I don't know.
I don't know. It depends on, yeah, it's like we were talking before, like, where is the soul of the car stored? Is it in the chassis? Is it in the tires?
Do these cars even have souls?
Because in this movie, the one guy, like, does stuff to his own engine, right? He gets, like, parts of it replaced, if not full-on replaced. So can they lose their eyesight? I mean, I guess they don't really need a windshield because there's nobody driving them. The windshield world is for them to see.
Or do you think there's like humans inside that are just trapped forever? And it's like the Matrix where they're the energy sources? But see, this is what I mean. You watch this movie and you're like, but what? I don't... And then you just go off on a tangent and then you forget you're watching this movie.
There's like a scene where Mater's on a payphone and I was like, okay, well, how did he dial that phone? Why is it human-sized?
Are there sidewalks in the Cars universe? Because you wouldn't need sidewalks.
Good question. I wasn't paying enough attention.
No. I'm trying to remember like this. It's just a bunch of side streets for all their chases.
How do they open doors? I don't understand, because they use their wheels as hands, but they're not very practical as hands.
The one guy does karate with his tires.
That's true. That was a thing.
Why do they have doors at all is the question. Why do they need doors?
They should all be automatic, but who creates the doors? Do they build their own buildings?
See?
Because we were talking about this, like, so in a metropolitan area, obviously cabs aren't going to exist, because, like, who would they be transporting? There would be no need for cabs or public transit.
These cars take planes to other countries. What
That was
size
weird.
Yep.
planes are they taking to other countries? Because
But then the planes are sentient.
They have faces. The ships
And the
have
boats
faces.
too? Yeah.
Planes have faces. It doesn't make any sense.
Wouldn't that be so weird? Like, just imagining you're a plane and then, like, you could have other people just crawl inside of you and then leave?
Well,
Like, I don't know.
first off,
it feels weird to
you
me.
were built just so that people can go, other cars can go inside you. Like you have
Who built
no
you?
other purpose. I don't know. They didn't answer. They didn't answer that in this movie.
who built the first car in this movie? What
Oh
does
my God.
What does Car Jesus look like? I don't understand. Do they have a religion?
It's like this movie expected us to just be like, "Hey, cars can talk," and here's the story. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Hold on. You need to explain yourself.
Wait a second. So, like, on Disney Plus, they actually have all of these Mater shorts.
Okay, we should just preface this that Mater is the tow truck
Yes.
played by Larry the Cable Guy. We'll
Yeah.
get to him in a minute, but yeah, he was kind of a peripheral character in the first movie, but he's
Yeah.
very much front and center of this
He's
one.
he's the protagonist.
Yeah.
So Tow Mater, he does like a bunch of different shorts, and they're actually so much more entertaining than the movie. Let me tell, I watched all of them because I
Holy
love them
shit.
so much. It was really, really good. So the first one, of course, I watch is the Tokyo one. Because I'm just like, I need to see the Tokyo drift in this. I just need to. So there's this short where he's trying to learn how to drift. So they challenge him. He like tows someone and they're just like, he's like, yeah, no tow is too far. And they're like, are you sure? So then he ends up towing them all the way to Tokyo. And he's drifting and he drifts through the police station. I say in air quotes. Oh, it was the donut shop. And it's just a bunch of cop cars and they're doing donuts, like the circular motion.
course.
And it was actually one of the funniest visual gag I've seen in a long time, because there's just like donut shop and then it's just everyone doing donuts and I'm like, ha, clever. So I don't know, there were a lot of little things like that make me happy, but that store didn't have doors.
Oh, okay.
When they're in Japan, there's like a car kabuki show and also car sumo, which I guess makes a little bit more sense. When they're in Italy, there was a Pope mobile inside a Pope mobile.
So they have religion because they have a pope, right? They have a car pope, so they have religion. They have a car queen at the end of this movie.
That's
so they
true.
have some kind of like established monarchy amongst cars. There's like a sovereignty amongst cars. I don't fucking understand this universe at all.
I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my god.
It's a Pope inside of a Pope.
I mean, okay, right. So this movie starts off with fucking Michael Caine doing
Yeah,
a voice
I
for this
wasn't ready
movie
for that.
Yes.
as a James Bond style spy car infiltrating an oil rig. Michael Caine there once again proving that he'll do anything for a paycheck. You guys know the story about Michael Caine and Jaws 4, right?
No.
No.
So Michael Caine's in Jaws 4, which is widely regarded as one of the worst films ever made. And an interviewer, I can't remember who it was, asked him, like, why did you do that movie? And Michael Caine's response was, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but I've seen the house it's paid for, and it's lovely.
It's great. I mean, it's true. He is an actor.
Yeah.
An actor is a job that you get money for. So
Yep.
sometimes you just need a paycheck.
I think I respect him more. What a great answer. I love him dearly.
The violence in this movie straight out of the gate is insane, right?
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
cars
not
are
okay.
like toting guns, they're firing missiles at one another. I was like, holy
Yeah.
fuck, this is, and I'm not being prudish here, right? But this is a Pixar movie. I don't come to a Pixar movie to see this G.I. Joe shit going on.
Yeah, at one point somebody drops a car that's been smashed into a cube in front of him or in front of somebody as an intimidation tactic, and I'm like, whoa, that's kind of dark.
Straight away, this is like such a massive leap from what that first Cars movie was, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that first movie. I kind of think it's okay for what it is. It was basically an animated remake of the Michael J. Fox movie Doc Hollywood about like a superstar with a chip on his shoulder who gets stranded in a small town and has to realign his values. And that's basically what that first Cars movie is, right? Mm-hmm. To go from that to this weird fucking spy caper in the space of one movie. I mean, it took the Fast and the Furious movies 5 movies before they managed to start doing all of this spy espionage shit that they're doing in those films. You can't just suddenly make your cars Jason Bourne. It just doesn't fly. I'm sorry, but
Definitely big agree because, I mean, like one of the first scenes is they're going up a car ramp and they're chasing him. So then he shoots barrels so that they start going down in like a Donkey Kong fashion.
Yeah.
And then they explode the entire thing. And all I could think about was Fast and the Furious and how much more mature that whole series is. And why do they think that they can get away with this just because they're cars? They do have souls. You've made it very clear
Yeah.
that these are animate objects. So no, you don't just get to shoot each other and blow things up and crush each other. Like, that's not okay.
It's the same reason you can't have a scene where Johnny Five is getting the crap eat out of him with a baseball bat or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, it's like you don't spend all this time making these characters, sentient creatures and then start killing them off.
we cut back to Radiator Springs, which is where Lightning McQueen, who was the protagonist of the first movie, played by Owen Wilson. You know what? Real lack of any kind of Owen Wilson in this movie.
Wow.
You can barely tell that it's him, and honestly, I didn't really like his voice anyways for this character. Like,
No, it wasn't very powerful. And like, there's a scene where there's a disagreement. I'm not going to jump too far ahead, but he's just not powerful. Like, there was a really shitty thing to happen to him. And he's just like, no, I don't like you anymore. You need to leave. And that was it. And I'm just like, man, get upset, get angry. Your friend just like messed you up.
Owen Wilson has a very distinct voice, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
use that to its advantage in your movie, but they just don't in this one. He's almost like a background character in a lot of this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've seen some discussions online recently about the difference between using actual voice actors and using just actors who are doing voice work, and how there are some actors that can really split the difference and can do both. Like Robin Williams, for instance, could come across as dynamic in person or as a voice actor. Like, he was really good at it.
Shout out to Fern Gully.
Yeah. Which that's how he got kind of screwed over by what's his face, was because they kept trying to cock block him on Fern Gully and he got super mad about it.
Oh, Katzenberg.
He kind of blamed them for trying to cock block him on Fern Gully. But anyways, not all film celebrities make good voice actors.
I mean, the other thing is that I find that Studio Ghibli does really well in their English dubs, because they Dakota Fanning's in one of them, I'm pretty sure, and one of the Jonas brothers, like Frankie Jonas is a voice actor and stuff like that.
Frankie Jonas, mind blown.
There's a fourth Jonas. He's a Joe bro. And Miley Cyrus's younger sister, I believe.
Well, I think what I like about Studio Ghibli is that for all of the films they dubbed, they were never really focused on like star power. Like, they weren't like, when they were doing the trailer, they didn't do this whole thing. Like, you've seen it in every animated film, where once they show everything, they just do this whole onslaught of all the lists. Like, maybe Trolls does it, where like Justin Timberlake, Anna Kendrick, and then like just keeps on going. I'm like, that doesn't matter to me.
That's true. Yeah, because I mean, like Liam Neeson's even in a Ghibli dub, which is amazing to me.
But I feel like they looked at who fits that role and be like,
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the main spy girl, oh god, Holly Spin something.
Shirtwell, Shootwell? I don't know.
Yes, Holly Shiftwell.
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 There we go. Car related.
That's actually the Howl's Moving Castle main lead. Like, she's the voice of Sophie.
Emily Mortimer, right?
Yeah, I didn't pinpoint that until literally the last line in the entire movie, which I thought was fantastic.
She was the one that played Mackenzie in the newsroom, right? Am I thinking of the right person?
I didn't watch the newsroom, so I'm just going to say yes. I should watch that. I love Jeff Daniels. I should watch that show.
It is good. It is great. It is good.
With Owen Wilson kind of relegated to a supporting role here, the movie shifts its focus onto the aforementioned Mater, voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. I'm kind of unfamiliar with this dude. He is not a known property where I am from. Anybody got any takes on Larry the Cable Guy for me?
Nope. This was kind of the first introduction for myself.
Oh, really?
No, yeah.
Oh, okay. He's kind of one of the more exaggerated personalities in the blue collar comedy tour guys, because there's like 4 of them, right? There's Jeff Foxworthy, Bill Engel, oh crap, what's that other guy's name? The tater salad guy, Ron White, and Larry the Cable Guy.
When you said White, I thought that's how you were describing him.
Well, yes, but that's his name as well, coincidentally. Yeah, I had that album many years ago, and I listened to it a lot, and then passed it on to my dad, and my dad thought it was fucking hysterical. Like, he thought it was the funniest thing he'd ever listened to. My mom hated it. Did not go in for the redneck humor at all, despite the fact that she has plenty of relatives that go in for the redneck humor, so I don't know what the problem is. But anyway, I don't know.
I'm kind of fuzzy on what this concept of redneck humor is. I mean,
it's subjective.
In the UK, we have these things kind of like peer-end comedians that were maybe kind of big in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Their acts have never evolved beyond kind of like fucking casual racism and shit like that, and they just sort of end up doing like tours of fucking seaside towns. I mean, UK listeners will be familiar with people like Jim Davidson, right? Like, that's kind of like what I equate the idea of redneck comedy to. But from what I was like reading up on it, I don't think redneck comedy is as intrinsically racist or obnoxious as some of these guys are.
No, because they have to they have to still appeal to a broad audience, right? Like, I would say Jeff Foxworthy is probably the tamest out of the 4. Hence why he ended up hosting Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader for like a bazillion seasons.
Oh yeah, that's the you're a redneck when guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You might be a redneck. Yeah, you might be a redneck. Yeah.
See, I thought that was Larry the Cable Guy that came up with that.
No. Yeah, Larry the Cable Guy is just kind of a voice. It's a. I mean, they're all kind of doing a character, but Larry the Cable Guy is really doing a character. Like, that's not his normal voice.
So weirdly enough, in the shorts, I liked Mater a lot more. Like, he's still that same kind of bubbly personality that you find in the movie. But they did this thing where he's telling these stories to Lightning McQueen, where he's just like, I do all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And like Lightning McQueen's like, oh, well, what happened next? And he's like, well, you should know, you were there. And then just all of a sudden it like cuts to that same scene, but like right beside him, Lightning McQueen is there. And he's like, what? No, this was all a lie. And he's just like, okay, sure. And then like... Yeah. Something shows that it does really happen. But I don't know whether it was the short bursts or what, because he's still the same like main character of it, but like what was the different dynamic? I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I think it is the short bursts, because
probably
10 minutes into this movie, I was ready to kill this fucking tow truck. I
Really?
literally could not stand this character. And I don't know if that's down to his Larry the Cable Guy's persona or more down to the actual script and the way this character is written. But every time he opened his mouth, I just wanted to scream into a pillow.
Well, the voice that he's doing for Mater is actually really toned down from his usual Larry the Cable Guy shtick.
Oh, okay.
Mater is toned down.
Go look up some of his stand-up sometime. I wouldn't say that it's like way over the top or anything. I'm just saying that the character is a little bit more subdued in these movies.
I think for me, the reason why I think it's not even the issue with just Maynard. I think it's the issue with just every single character in this film, where like things happen just because no one spends the time to be like, oh, hold on, can we just check on a minute what's going on? Like they just needed to talk and everything would have been solved. Like,
it's true
from the beginning.
But I mean, like, okay, so then in the very beginning, we still haven't gotten very far into this movie. In the very beginning, there's that car that's broken down on the side of the road. Instantly, like, adult me is just like, oh my god, is he going to be okay? Does he have car insurance? Like, what kind of currency do any of the cars use? Like,
call CAA.
he's like instantly just yeeted into like a customization area, and they're just like, oh, how far did you make it? And he was so proud when he was like almost to the state line. I was just like, oh, wholesome. But after that, done. I have no emotional connection to anyone that isn't that broken down car.
And then Mater goes racing down the road with this poor car attached to the back of him, bouncing all over the place. I'm like, woo, that's cruel.
I know, poor guy.
Paul Newman was in that first movie, right? He played like the kind of mentor character to
Doc
Owen
Hudson.
Wilson's car. That's it.
Yeah.
Did he die?
Apparently.
I mean, I know Paul Newman died, but did that character die?
Yeah, apparently that character had died. In Cars 3, I think they actually... I know they addressed it in 2.
Not really.
But apparently in 3, the character was there, but he was on TV and on posters and in dreams.
Okay.
So wait, cars have dreams? Yes, they do.
Of course they do.
They can hallucinate. They can... I don't even understand.
Get horny.
No, okay, wait, horny like honking the horn? Because initially when like I was watching this,
Hunka.
Why not?
because like a part of me thought like it was a world where like sexual attraction didn't exist and it was more about like romantic relationships, and I was like, oh, but then that was me looking into it. But yeah.
But okay, hold on. There are such things as hot cars, because when Mater thought that Holly Shiftwell was hitting on him, he was all excited because she's a hot car.
And he kept making inappropriate comments for the rest of the movie. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck
It just keeps going back to my original question. How are these cars fucking? I need to know. I want to know.
They have their friend's day out and they end up tipping a dump truck or something. Or
cow tipping.
It's like cow tipping, except it's a dump truck. And I was like, oh, that's mean.
That's why I'm saying, how did they build buildings because of instruction or construction equipment are animals? Then that doesn't make sense. Also, quickly, if they're made out of metal and the actual buildings are also made out of metal, would that be like we live in houses that are made out of flesh?
Oh, nice. This weird Cronenberg existence where we're all living in fleshy houses.
It reminds me of the gingerbread man lives in his ginger house. Is he made out of house, or is his house made out of man? He screams.
No, but it's true though. Like if you think about it, like it's trying to pass off as this kid movie, but if you just sit down and try to think about this world, it's horrifying.
Here comes the Shrek reference.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
At least Shrek kind of leaned into that with the gingerbread torture.
That's true. Oh my god.
They like cut off his arms.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up. And then like they use milk, like hot milk, to take out Mongo, also known as the best character in the universe. Oh my god, everyone should... Neth's face right now. I think it's turning red.
Can we just have one fucking episode? One episode.
We'll get it one day.
Shrek makes the world go round.
So so there's a fucking talk show. Lightning McQueen passes on some kind of World Cup dealing, and they're like, what the fuck? On this talk show, and then Mater calls in via payphone somehow. I don't know how he dialed it.
Did they actually show it? Like
everything's voice activated nowadays. I don't know.
But he does it when they're like in a bar at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And all of these cars are like sat at the bar. Are these cars getting drunk? Are they drunk driving? Do their cars get DUIs? I don't...
They're getting lubricated. Come on. And when they go to the bath, what do they... I'm assuming it's oil. They leak gasoline. Oil. Yeah, they leak oil. Like, when they go to the bathroom, I guess they're changing their oil or something. I don't understand the bathroom thing.
No, I didn't either. I was just like, I don't know what's happening.
Well, first of all, I love the fact that when he went to the toilet in Japan, it was a future toilet.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if I ever said this, but I told my friend that I told you guys about the Japan toilet story.
Oh yeah, that was on our Tokyo Drift episode.
Yeah, from the Tokyo Drift episode. He wanted everyone to know that not only did he get the toilet spray in his eye, he then screamed, which means that the spray also got into his mouth, and then
God.
he fell onto the floor. So not only was he choking on the water, he was blind, couldn't see anything, and then for the rest of the trip, he was scared he was going to get pink eye.
Yeah, no wonder.
So, like, it actually went like, and then it was still going, even though he fell on the floor. So he's still getting rained on.
So what you're saying is that Mater's experience in Japan and using a toilet is very relatable.
Absolutely correct. They did very well with that.
Did you go on holiday with Mr. Bean?
Basically.
That does seem like a Mr. Bean.
But like, can we talk about how the secret agent was like literally getting beat up in the bathroom and how that was an okay scene? Because it wasn't.
Yeah, that was like something out of a Mission Impossible movie.
It really was. I was imagining him as Henry Cavill.
Yeah, when Henry Cavill does that little fucking fist throw thing in Mission Impossible, I was like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's
Let's
exactly.
see these cars start throwing their fists around.
I don't know. I don't like the fact that there were dents going on. It just really messed with me psychologically. And then, like, Mater comes out and he's just like, oh, I wouldn't go in there. And I'm just like, he's being beaten to death. Like, he's dying and you're making a joke.
Mater literally makes, he literally makes an Ace Ventura joke. Oh my God, this movie has no original ideas.
He makes a poop joke, even though, I don't know how that works. Okay, so like there's a pool of oil on the floor, and somebody was like, he's a little excited, isn't he? And I was like, well, that's mortifying. Are oil leaks basically urinary incontinence? Is that...
Apparently, yeah, because then, like, Lightning was just like, oh my God, go clean yourself up. Like, get a hold of yourself. He's like, I haven't leaked oil in years. And I'm just like...
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, that's fucking embarrassing. Oh my God.
But yeah, and then, like, friggin', oh, what was his name? Joe, what's his face?
Which car? Which voice?
The mafia car.
Oh, the guy played by Joe Mantegna or whatever.
Yes, exactly. He was just like, oh, can we get back to what we were doing here? And Mater's like, okay. And I was just like, he's leaving that car to die. That car's gonna die. That's not okay. And lo and behold, I'm mortified after watching this. Like,
yeah.
I mean, look, all right, let's just fucking break this down real fucking quick, yeah?
Yeah.
Basically, the plot of this movie is Mater is mistaken for a spy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Goes off on a world tour with Lightning McQueen, who is involved in some kind of rivalry with an F1 car.
Yep.
While Lightning McQueen is doing all these races, there is this nonsense fucking mistaken identity plot going on where Mater gets caught up in some kind of escapades about a new fuel source that apparently is making cars explode, and it turns out all along that this was all a big setup by Eddie Izzard's character. That's the plot of the film, okay?
Wait, that happened?
We don't need to fucking go into the plot any more than that.
The world race is sponsored by some kind of biofuel company, and
all in oil,
and it's supposed to prove the veracity of this, prove the effectiveness of this oil, of this synthetic oil, but somebody keeps sabotaging by shooting. They're calling it an EMP. I'm going to say a heat ray.
That's not how that works.
A heat ray at the cars, various cars in the race, and causing them to blow up. So it makes the fuel look bad. And somehow that has some connection to a group of... Do we want to reveal it?
Yeah, of course we do, because who gives a shit?
Lemons! A bunch of shit cars that are angry with their existence in the world. I don't know why they're blaming the better cars for how shittily they were made. Who makes these cars? Who's your manufacturer? Maybe write a letter.
How can you replace those parts? That's what's blowing my mind. What part holds the soul? How much can you take away from one of those cars before it doesn't exist anymore?
I don't remember what exactly the connection is between the Jeep guy, the Jeep all-in-oil guy, and the lemons. I can't remember what exactly the connection is there. That's the part of the plot I don't understand.
He's an old car, but like his outsides are completely different.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It blows my mind that someone sat at this very long meeting table and said, you know what we should include in this movie? we should have a scene where they make a car go so fast that, like, we'll put the EMP shooting at it and it will explode from the insides. And then what we'll do is we'll show the reflection in the monitor so that you don't directly see it, but you can see that a car just exploded.
So this is the scene, the torture scene in this movie, because this movie has a fucking torture scene in it.
Yeah.
Where Bruce Campbell playing the voice of this car that gets tortured here.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that was old Brucey boy. He basically gets tortured by the bad guys to the point where he fucking explodes.
Yeah.
This is a Pixar movie for children.
Are
what the
you
fuck?
kidding me? I'm so mad that existed. Like, literally, all you see in my notes is just, oh my god, he's dead. And that was an okay thing to show. So, like, okay, I guess it would have to be, the soul would have to be in the like engine cavity, right? Because I don't know, everything on that main guy, that villain, was brand new except for that engine cavity, and that's what gave him away. Also, the inclusion of VIN numbers being your identification, absolutely beautiful. I loved that because the first thing my mom told me to do when I got my car is to make sure that my VIN number matched up with my like paperwork so that they delivered my right car so that I would always have that. So
Oh damn, I've never checked that. I should probably look at it.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did.
So with like Laura going on and on about soul, I feel like now I don't want to end this podcast without knowing. So yes, they have a soul, and so I just need to figure out how it works. Do you think there's like a big bang and then I don't know.
I think it's a post-apocalyptic world where cars have gained sentience and humans have died off, and I'm sure the environment is slowly but surely marching towards desolation. Maybe there isn't even oxygen anymore. We don't know. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to how many plants there were in the background.
In one of the shorts, they talk about how Radiator Springs came to be.
Oh, okay.
And,
Oh, wow.
They did time travel. So
All right, there we go.
basically,
Oh my
there
God.
is a guy, whoever started Radiator Springs. They're like, okay, we have to make sure that he like stays here at the perfect time so that he creates like the town. So it turns out he's a radiator cap salesman. So they hook him up with like a spot, and he's like, okay, you should stay right beside this like geyser spring thing because people are going to stop because they're overheating, and that's when you can sell them a new cap thing. And then slowly but surely, like, it expanded every time they went back to check in on it because they did something wrong.
Hold up. But this guy was a car, right? This wasn't
It
like
was a
guy.
car. It was an old jalopy.
It wasn't like a dude.
No. It was a jalopy. And one of the, you can actually see there was this weird like train tunnel prank scene in the very beginning where they go into a like train tunnel, and then a jalopy comes out. I believe it was like that jalopy's husband. So she's still there, which is weird. So old cars are still old cars.
Okay.
And they're broken down cars still.
This is hurting my head just thinking about this.
Megan had a point where basically it's post-apocalyptic, where somehow some man or woman made the choice to like, hey, what happens if we made a smart car? And so obviously that car became too smart, and I guess there was some sort of uprising, and then now the humans are the fossil fuel for their cars?
Yes.
But the problem is that you don't ever see a human in the car.
Because we're dead now, and they've taken over.
Oh my god, I've just figured it out. I know who started all of this. I know who had the first sentient car.
Who?
It was fucking David Hasselhoff.
There we go.
Oh my god. I like this universe suddenly.
It's just terribly ironic that the ray gun thing they're using is for an EMP, like an electromagnetic pulse. And EMPs are known for frying electronics. They're not known for igniting gasoline, right? So, I mean, it would have been very, very chilling if this EMP gun was just turning sentient cars back into regular cars.
Oh, that'd be so...
just destroys their electronic brain or whatever.
How is that more chilling than cars shooting each other?
At least equally chilling.
And exploding.
Well, think about it. I think it's still chilling. Think about it. You're like walking along and then all of a sudden shoots a gun at you that somehow makes your body frigid and can't move anymore. And totally, yeah, isn't that frightening? That's frightening.
Yeah, like a heat gun or a laser would have made more sense, I think. But I don't know why they chose EMP. It just seems like a weird choice.
Sounded cool. They watched The Matrix the other day and are like, EMPs.
Older cars aren't as vulnerable to EMPs because they have fewer delicate electronics in them, supposedly. So it could have been used alongside the whole storyline with the old school lemons hating on the newer cars, but they didn't really use it that way in the movie. So I don't know, it just seemed weird. It was just a weird choice.
I think it just goes to like old spy movies. We're like, that doesn't make any sense. Does it have to? And I guess back then it didn't, but now we're like, no. If you're creating a world with talking cars, you have to explain yourself.
I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, this movie does just do all that old spy movie shit, but also, is everybody in this movie, are all of these characters just fucking stupid?
Yes.
Because Mater repeatedly tells Michael Caine that he is just a tow truck, and yet Michael Caine is absolutely convinced that he's some kind of super spy. Why won't you just listen to him? He is an idiot. Stop giving him these tasks to do. Oh, it drove me insane.
That goes back to Roddy's point where it's just like a lot of these situations could have been avoided if people just like actually listened to each other and had conversations. Like it could have absolutely been all avoided. And I mean, I get the whole thing about like be who you're supposed to be. Everybody else who doesn't like it should change. And it's just like
Yeah, exactly. I had the same feelings.
It's because Mater has a few moments where his expertise in car parts comes into play, and because he's so good at this, and he's so good at pointing things out when they're looking at photos and stuff, it never occurs to them that he actually is just a country boy. Like because he has expertise, and it's just very specific, and because it comes into play, they just think that he's a super smart spy because he's pointing out stuff that they weren't catching, which is weird because they're also cars.
To go back to Laura's point though of like the whole message doesn't like stay true to your art, everyone else should change. Mater stayed true to himself, and when he stayed true to himself, countless people died.
Yep. He did put a lot of cars in danger. Not on purpose, mind you. Not on purpose.
Yeah, but still, but that's not the message I should do.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that happened was just happening to him. He wasn't doing it on purpose. He wasn't making conscious choices.
But the thing is, though, he could have saved Bruce Campbell's life if he actually was not thinking about himself and, assessing the situation.
But okay, so then when I was thinking about this, right, I was thinking of this as a consumer point of view. Would I want my children to watch this? Answer is absolutely not. Now that being said, though, because I was thinking about how I love Frozen 2 very much.
Oh, nice.
And the way that they go through grief and how to move on with that is unparalleled. I learned that. It's crazy. So there's this one song that Kristen Bell does about the next right step or something like that. The next right thing. And basically she's like, I'm depressed. I don't know where to go. I'm literally in this cave. And then she's like, the only thing that I know I need to do is the next right thing. That's all I need to know. This next breath, it hurts to do anything, but I need to do the next right thing. And I was thinking to myself, yes, I'm showing my daughters this because this is a great way to think about things, is sometimes you just have to break it down to literally breathing. But cars, yes, I like the idea of be who you want to be, or who you are, and you should be unapologetic about it, but
it's not terribly deep. For a movie that seems obviously marketed towards boys. The difference between kind of the learning element from Cars 2 and the learning element from Frozen 2 is miles apart, right?
Yeah, it
is a little suspicious because it's why can't we have an emotionally deep message for the little boys? What the hell?
How does Frozen 2 handle that better? Where I don't know. I just really like the
I haven't seen Frozen 2. I'm just
Highly
going on your
recommend.
opinions here.
Yeah, no, I just highly recommend, because one of the best things about Kristoff is that he supports Anna in whatever she does. So like they split off at a time, and he like gets all confused about the relationship and how he could be of value and like who he is without her and stuff like that. And one of the first things he does when he picks her up, he's like, what do you need? What can I do for you? And he was able to have this full emotional scale where he like, you know, understands that he's in love with her and that's okay, and how he's changing. And it's so weird that that is a better message than literally anything for Pixar.
Yeah, because Cars 2, the takeaway from Cars 2 isn't, like, to me, maybe this is just my interpretation, it doesn't feel like the takeaway is any more complex than, like, your average, like, cartoon episode or, like, preschool cartoon. Like, it just seems oddly out of joint with the complexity of the movie's action.
Yeah, when you come after Up and Wall-E and all of these hard hitters, and you come out with Cars 2, right? It just feels so empty to me.
Yeah, it was very obviously it's a cash grab. It's
Yeah,
a cash grab
exactly.
to capitalize. They're capitalizing on foreign markets by having the movie take place in other countries. You know, cars are big, spy chases are big. They just took a bunch of concepts, smashed them all into the same movie. Boom, done.
But like I said earlier, like if this helped to help fund like Coco and Inside Out, then like so be it. Like I feel like every company has the thing where like this is the work that we do, and like this is like we have no kind of like context in it.
I don't know, man. I don't subscribe to that theory because those movies would have got made regardless of Cars 2's existence. I don't think we can pin the existence of movies as good as Inside Out or Coco or Soul, which was like literally one of the best movies I saw last year, on the existence of Cars 2. I think Pixar, I mean, like I say, this actually was quite a low grosser for Pixar, domestically at least. I mean, yeah, okay, so merch is a big factor in this, but I think like this movie is so like artistically bankrupt that there's no way that you could turn around and say that we should be grateful for that Inside Out exists because Cars 2 paved the way for it, you know? I just feel like
I would love to see the Inside Out version, but with cars. So there's a little angry car and the little sad car and the anxiety
Don't give them
car.
ideas. Don't give them ideas for
please,
Inside Out 2.
You know what,
please.
Roddy? I will subscribe to that idea if there is an Inside Out car AU at any time.
Even better,
Oh,
a sentient truck with a sentient stuffed animal strapped to the grill.
Yeah.
Oh my
Are
God.
you saying that basically well, technically Pixar already does a multi like crosses universes. So yeah, it's bound to happen.
It does all the time.
We're gonna get Inside Out meets Cars meets what's next?
Sentient toys beat sentient cars. I mean,
So what type of car do you think the Joy car would be? A Toyota Corolla?
I don't know. What's the happiest car you can think of?
Isn't it like the Bumblebee car?
Oh, a punch buggy.
I mean, I guess to some people it would be maybe like a Mini, maybe? I don't know.
That's true.
I will say that I was a complete disadvantage watching this film because I know nothing about cars. I don't know anything about
Same.
models of cars or how they even work.
This movie does like a bunch of sight gags about stuff like that, but they all
Yeah.
feel so like hacky. And so like when they go to Paris, a bunch of the cars in Paris are all like old Citroen 2CVs, which
Yep.
it would be funny if this movie took place in like 1992, but you know, nobody's still driving one of those cars now.
yeah,
It's
they
like-
meet one of those three-wheel cars.
Oh, there's like a Robin Reliant. Those things
Yeah.
were huge in the UK in like
Oh,
the
yeah.
70s and 80s. They're but you couldn't ever turn a corner in them because they would tip over. So
In Paris, there was a car mime. There was a car dressed as a mime.
Oh, yes.
another hacky fucking Paris joke there. I mean, all of the jokes in this film are either pun based or they're just hacky stereotype.
At the casino, they're playing craps with fuzzy dice that still have the
So
string
that was
connected.
hilarious. I loved that.
I'm like, okay, that's a solid joke.
In Japan, when the whole pistachio ice cream
Oh,
wasabi
God.
thing,
Yeah.
and the little forklift, I love him, first of all, because he's got his little arms. But he says my condolences in Japanese, and I was just like, wow, I feel
is
like
that
he's
what he
saying
said?
that to me. It's just like my condolences, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm gonna take that because I'm watching this movie and it's really hard.
But some of the car sex though were like again, like Megan said, were legit funny. The capsule hotels for I was like, okay, that's kind of smart.
I was like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense for this world.
Makes more sense than stuffing a human in one of the capsules.
Also, the agent, it was funny. At some point, I thought that they were going to try and make it so that he doesn't kill anybody because he's the good guy, and I was just like, I don't know. I feel like that's a cop out. That's not fair. Like, I want revenge for that other agent. And then he throws one of the cars onto a car lift, and then it crushes the car into the ceiling, and then another car goes under it, and then it goes all the way down and crushes that car. Like, literally 2 seconds, 2 cars are dead. That was really intense to me, and I loved that too.
How do you kill a tow truck in a gas chamber anyway? Like,
do they have lungs?
Do they breathe?
That's what I was wondering.
Well, in the first scene, the spy all of a sudden puts a scuba device on, and I was like, I don't...
What's in the tank? What's in the tank, buddy?
Nos?
Do you think that's it? He's getting high on Nos. Is that what he's doing?
Maybe. That would be great. Yeah, the more we go into this universe, the more I hate it. But you know what's weird is I don't ever question why the Toy Stories are moving in Toy Story, but that also actually gave me like a real fucking problem with my life where I personify a lot of my objects, so I hoard pretty much everything because I think they all have different personalities.
I'm guilty of that as well.
But
anthropomorphizing stuff. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Toy Story they lay out pretty specific parameters. I mean, there's a little bit of ambiguity along the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they alive? Oh, who cares? Mm-hmm. But the toys are alive, and when nobody's looking, they talk to each other.
That's the clear definition there, is that when nobody's looking. So you and I cannot say for sure that doesn't actually happen, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like, but other than that, their world is meant to be the same as our world, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot we can take for granted there. Whereas with cars, it's kind of like, where are the people? Mm-hmm. Why do these cars exist? Who made these cars?
It freaks me out. It just this whole film just weirded me the fuck out. And part of the reason that we're not really following the plot of this movie on this week's episode is because I was too weirded out to pay attention to the story. I was just like, all of these questions were spinning through my mind about what the fuck is this universe that we're looking at.
One of my favorite notes that I took, it was after the scene where the cars were crushed, and I was like, whoops, blacked out there for a second. This is a bad movie. Like, that's just the whole note.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is, then I went into, bro, I don't even care about anything else right now. I'm just so sad because of like the body count of this movie.
Yeah.
Well, look at it to Toy Story 3, like the pivotal moment of that scene. Spoilers if you haven't watched any of the Toy Stories, but like you actually worry about the stakes of them losing their lives.
Yeah.
Because to that point, nothing has happened like that ever in a Pixar film. And then this movie, it's like someone just dies like the first couple of 5 minutes into it. And you're like, what?
Yeah. Well, in Toy Story 3, they allude to toys getting roughed up and broken because they're being played with children who are too young to be playing with those toys. And in the first movie, there are toys made out of other toys. There's that sicko kid that goes around taking toys apart and making other toys out of them. So there's like a baby's head on a spider body or some shit.
Did you guys ever notice that there's a hooker? That was my favorite thing ever.
A hooker?
It was a fishing rod and it had Barbie legs on it.
Oh, yeah.
It had a hook. It was a hooker.
Oh my god. Yeah, actually, yeah, I do remember that.
Fucking nightmare fuel.
Right?
Oh my god.
But yeah, that baby spider thing, that was not okay. And like, I guess that's my problem, is that I have an emotional connection to things. So for them to just toss that aside and feel as though that's okay, and like violence is totally fine because they're cars and their universe doesn't make sense anyways.
Well, yeah, think about it. It's supposed to make us care about the characters when the characters just blink their eye. Like, they don't even bat an eye. I don't know that idiom, whatever. You know what I mean? But like, they don't even care that someone dies in front of them. It's like, it's like, joke. Is death just a common thing here? this world? Do the people just die every day? Well,
I think we as adults take the implications a little bit more seriously than kids do. Because I can think of a few movies that I watched when I was a kid that I rewatched as an adult, and I'm like, holy shit, I watched this?
It's a problem child physics, but in cars.
Like in Secret of Nim, there's a scene where the one guy straight up stabs another guy with just just right through the chest or something. And that's not even in the book. Like, they added violence to that movie. And, like, I remember watching it as an adult, and I'm like, whoa, I don't even remember that. Holy crap. But, I mean, The Little Mermaid ends with Ursula getting stabbed by a ship's mast or something, you know.
But, like, it builds up to that.
That's
this one,
true.
It's just, like, everyone's dying. It's like, what's it called? You know how, like, there's some horror movie video essays or whatnot? They do, like, a carnage count?
Yeah.
Of, like, ding, 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 this is how much people have died.
Oh, yeah, this movie has
this.
an incredible body count. This movie has a higher body count than Blair Witch 2, which is kind of alarming.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, the stakes in this movie isn't death. It's whether or not Lightning McQueen will win this race. And I mentioned it like earlier, but that fight between him and Mater just fell flat completely.
Oh, it was the most irritating thing.
Yeah. There was no actual conflict between the two, and he felt guilty because he sent Mater away because he technically screwed him up. Like, is it just me? But, like, Lightning McQueen actually had every right to do that and feel that way.
First he tells him to go away, and then he's surprised when Mater gets on a plane to go home.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, he left the country? And it's like, what the fuck did you expect him to interpret from that? Like, did you...
Yeah.
He feels like he ruined your race. Of course he's going home.
Exactly. Because he technically did.
Yeah.
And, like, sure, it wasn't his fault, but, like, it was his fault because he didn't turn off his headset. He didn't think to do so. So he got some bad advice. He's allowed to be mad.
Yeah, he was in on Lightning's radio frequency, but he also had an additional radio frequency from What's-Her-Face, so he could hear the other girl chatting in his ear, but Lightning couldn't hear the other half of the conversation, so Lightning's like, why the fuck are you talking while I'm racing around this track? And then Lightning got all confused. So, I mean, that wasn't really Mater's fault because he didn't ask anybody to shove a weird computer up his butt when he was in the bathroom, but...
Consent. But, like, do you see why we're not talking about the plot, though? Like, what
The plot doesn't make any sense.
This conversation. But, like, I don't know.
When they're in London, the clock's called Big Bentley.
Oh, my gosh.
For no reason whatsoever. It's still just a clock tower. It doesn't even look like a car.
One of the race sponsors is Lasseter, and that's aged about as well as a glass of warm milk, but, you know.
Yeah.
This whole movie is, like, based off of, like, what's, like, the next pun that we could do? Even the bomb scene of, like, that pivotal scene between friends and whether or not they could reconnect again is like, you're
right.
like the bomb. Like, bomb, what? No. I'm like, no, just talk. Stop making it like this a pun.
This movie basically ends with Mater having a bomb strapped to him, and I was just crossing my fingers that it would detonate before he got rid of it, but unfortunately, no.
He figures out who the probable suspect is for why so he drives up to the Jeep guy and kind of tricks him into deactivating the bomb. But, like, the Queen is here because it's England, and the Queen is also a car. And instead of driving away with her security detail like she was told to, she's like, oh, I'd like to see where this is going. And I was like, really?
I mean, I like the idea of that.
It's a very flippant statement, given the fact that there's somebody nearby who has a bomb that's ticking down.
When you talked about the Queen, then again, it's one of the ones where you watch this movie and you go like, wait, what? And then you think about all this infinite amount of questions. So if there's a monarchy, the monarchy has been for a long time. So does that mean they went through like all those periods? Like, did they have like a Renaissance? Did they have like legit like car medieval?
You mean, was there like a talking horse and cart, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't understand it.
What is the evolution of these cars? Oh my god. Was there a car Charles Darwin? Oh my god.
See what I mean?
What did the inbred cars look like? Like, what did the Habsburgs look like? Did they just have really fucked up like hoods that didn't close properly and they just leaked fluid everywhere? Like,
They had like 5 wheels and shit. I don't know. Just
For those who don't know, the Habsburgs were a really inbred branch of the royal family who inbred so much that after a while they were dumb as rocks and crazy, and their mouths wouldn't close properly because their jaws were all fucked up and they would drool all over the place.
So basically the royal family.
That's frightening.
Yes, it is frightening. Look at
That's
pictures
so
of them.
I don't
They're
want
so
to. That's very
freaky
scary. I don't want
looking.
it.
Yeah.
I already sat through Cars 2. I don't want to have more nightmares.
But you could look at them and actually think like in car form.
But like medieval knights cars, but like caveman cars, but like I don't know, like
it's just like rock wheels.
Marie Antoinette's. Like,
Do you know what? We could spend another couple of hours trying to
I know
trying to
that's why.
fucking parse through this. Let's not, though. The movie basically ends with back in Radiator Springs.
Mm-hmm.
They all fuck off back there, and then they all do a race because hey, they're cars, and what else are they gonna fucking do, right?
Oh my god, when Holly Shiftwell was like, I'm his girlfriend, or he's my boyfriend, I was like, no, this is our relationship. That should have happened.
Yeah.
What?
No.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I like when the cars are, instead of using handcuffs, they have those tire boots that they're putting on the bad guys.
Amazing.
It's all sight gags.
Got a legit laugh from me on that one.
See, it does have the charm of a Pixar movie, but it just
kind of treads kind of an uncanny valley. You know, it's kind of like with Sausage Party. Is that what it was called?
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah.
Thing with the talking hot dogs, like where that one could have gone really far with that concept, but it didn't go nearly far enough, and the plot was really stupid.
Do you guys feel as though there needs to be like some better world building in this? Is that
Yes.
the problem, or is it just overall script?
I mean, I would rather they hadn't built this world at all, and just because it's just
Because I don't think the concept is a bad idea for kids.
No, and look, let's just fucking put the caveat here that this is a children's film, and we are all grown-ass adults.
Yeah.
So, we're kind of shooting fish in a barrel, picking it apart, but fucking, even then, this movie is violent and nonsensical and just fucking, I would rather, and look, I was a liberal parent. I let my daughter watch Shaun of the Dead when she was like 6 years old. At the same time, I'd be like, yeah, you don't need to see this. I don't think you have any requirement to see this. Do you know what? Let's do a quiz.
Okay.
Okay, on what?
We're gonna find out.
Hello, I'd like to buy a car. Yes, which one would you like? I'll take the one with the silliest name. We can certainly do that, all right. We have a brand new Mitsubishi lettuce or this dirty old Nissan Cup. Those sound great, I'll take them both, even if one was made up.
Okay, so all of the cars in this movie have kind of dumb punny names like Tomater, but what about some cars that have really stupid names in real life? I am going to give you guys the name of a model of car, and I want you to tell me if it is a real car or a fake car.
Ooh.
We don't have any fancy technical terms here, just say real or fake. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go around the horn and we'll take it in turns. You're up first, Laura.
Oh, God.
Is this a real car or a fake car? The Mazda Bongo Friendy.
Please be a fake car.
I'm afraid it's a real car. It was a British camper van made by Mazda, obviously.
Sorry, a Bongo
Friendy. Friendy with two E's on the end.
Amazing.
Megan.
Mm-hmm.
The Isuzu Mysterious Utility Wizard. Real car, fake car?
I'm going to say real because I want this to be real.
It is real. There really is a car called a Mysterious Utility Wizard. What's mysterious about that?
I would like to know.
Why is it a wizard?
It has magical powers.
Sounds like something that would show up on Top Gear as a joke.
Yeah, maybe. Rodey.
Bring it. I know everything about cars.
Ford Probe. Real or fake?
Oh, is that it? Just Ford Probe?
Yeah, a probe.
I want more imagination, so I'm gonna say fake.
No, I'm afraid that's a real car.
Aw.
My friend's dad had one of those in the 90s.
Why is it probe like? Like, what makes it a probe?
No idea, but I'm not sure why somebody thought a probe was a good name for a car. But it's not the connotation I make when I think of probe, but okay. Laura, the Kia Fancy Day Driver. Real car, fake car?
Fancy day driver.
Are you a fancy day driver? We'll find out.
Do you just hold your pinky up as you're driving? Fake.
It is fake. I made that one up.
I like it though.
Kia, you can buy that off me.
Please.
Megan.
Mm-hmm.
The Chrysler 405 Lexington. Real car, fake car?
I'm going to say that's real, but I have no idea.
I'm afraid it's fake. 405 Lexington is actually the location of the Chrysler building in New York.
Oh, okay. I thought that sounded familiar.
Is anybody keeping score? Please keep score. I'm no good at keeping score on these things. Laura's got
We've
one.
all got one right now.
1 point, I think.
Roddy, did you get one? Yeah, okay. No, Roddy
Yes,
didn't get
we
one.
did.
No, he didn't.
Mm-mm.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay.
But I can if I want.
No. Okay, Roddy, here's your chance to catch up. The Mazda Titan Dump.
Oh, really? Called Dump?
A Titan Dump. Real car, fake car?
Since there's potty humor in Cars 2, I assume there's potty humor in real life cars. Real.
That's right. It is a real Japanese truck. The Mazda Titan Dump. This movie was a Titan Dump. Okay,
Ooh.
Laura.
Yeah.
The Suzuki Schnookums. Real car or fake car?
Oh, please let this be real.
Oh my god.
Schnookum?
If it is, I know my next car, but I'm gonna say fake.
It is fake. I made that up.
Ah!
Could you imagine? Someone stole my Schnookums.
Megan.
Yeah,
The Nissan Friend Me.
I'm going to say that's real.
It is real. It's a car from 2013, and it also sounds like the firstiest car I've ever heard of. Roddy.
Yes.
I want you to tell me if this is a real car or a fake car. The Honda Highway Hijacker 3000.
Oh, I want fake.
It is fake. I made that up too. But I kind of want that car.
Sounds like something from The Simpsons.
Because of the 3000?
Canyonero.
Do you love it?
Maybe I should have
3000?
added the 3000 on there. All right, what's the scores? Laura's got 2. Megan's got 2. Roddy's got 1. Okay.
2. just counting me on. Rude.
Sorry, I forgot that you got the Titan Dump correct. I'm sorry. Okay, last round. Laura, the Mitsubishi Minica Winky.
No. Real?
It is real. It's some smart car looking little fucking thing.
I want that. Sorry, it's a Winky?
The Minica Winky.
Minica Winky.
Megan.
Yeah.
The Honda Life Dunk.
Oh, I'm going to say that's fake.
No, I'm afraid that is a real car.
What?
The Life Dunk.
Is it like a slam dunk?
Who is coming up with this shit? People get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to come up with this shit. Okay, Laura has 3. Megan's got 2. Roddy, this is to tie with Laura. The Volkswagen Riefenstahl. Sorry, Riefenstahl.
Oh.
Riefenstahl.
The Volkswagen Riefenstahl.
I'm gonna say fake.
It is fake. Volkswagen did not name a car after Leni Riefenstahl, Hitler's favorite director.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I want a Minica Winky, though. I'm looking at these things. Amazing.
Okay, well, we know what we're getting you for Christmas.
Please.
That's Cars 2. Would you guys recommend this?
Nah. I mean, like, I'd rather have, like, the Christmas Prince on in the background rather than Cars 2. Like, I can't.
That's your default go-to for, like, bad background movie, right?
It is. You know what? It's
You can
fine
do laundry,
because
you can make a meal.
I fell asleep to all 3 Christmas Prince movies, and it's a peaceful slumber. Cars 2, just like, I don't know. I don't need that.
Megan?
I don't know. If you have kids, they might enjoy it, but it depends on the kid, I guess, and how sensitive they are to certain things. Violence. I don't know. I can't judge. I don't actually have any kids yet, so.
Yet.
Let us know in like 3 years.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the first movie you show your child.
No.
Here.
No,
It is
please.
not
Cars
going
two.
to be the. I will hide the existence of this movie for as long as possible.
Save them.
It's kind of like, it's gonna be weird because when I was growing up, we grew up in the age of like VHS, right? So somebody would get a new tape for Christmas or something, and they would watch it over and over and over and over
Hell
and
yeah.
over and over again. Just one movie.
Yep.
over and over.
And you just memorize the entire
Yeah.
lines.
Wore out my copy of Back to the Future doing that. So yeah. Roddy, recommend, no recommend?
The fact that the third one forgets this second one ever happened, I'm
Really?
gonna say that you don't need to watch it.
Fair.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, I'm not going to recommend this. I really struggled to make it through this film. This is the most... Normally when we do this, I can sit, and most of the time I watch these movies twice, because the first time I watch it just to kind of take it in,
Yeah.
and then the second time I'm making notes. I struggled to get through a single sitting of this film. I kept pausing it. I kept going off to like make a cup of coffee, do other
Same.
stuff, play Xbox. This film was a slog. It's not fun. It doesn't have any kind of like whimsical charm to it in the way that a lot of Pixar movies do. I think when you think that this is from the same studio that made stuff like Inside Out, which is a fantastic movie, just it's kind of alarming that, you know, I don't know. Just not a recommend for me. And, you know, I wouldn't even say watch the first one. I don't think the first one's that great. Just go watch Doc Hollywood instead. That's a perfectly charming little movie. And it's got Woody Harrelson in it too, so what more could you ask for? Moving on, next week we're departing Radiator Springs and heading for Springwood. We're doing Freddy versus Jason.
Ooh, I like that segue. That was fantastic.
You're welcome. This is very much my wheelhouse. Big Nightmare on Elm Street fan, big Friday the 13th fan. You would have thought that melding those two things together would have been my ultimate movie. Not so much.
The first Halloween we all spent together, you dressed up as Jason, didn't you?
I did. And I dressed my
great.
dog up as Patrick Bateman as well, so...
Love that. I've never seen, once again, I'm not a horror fan, so I haven't seen either one of those franchises. So I've always been fascinated by crossover movies.
Yeah, this is our first crossover sequel.
It seems fun.
Yeah, if you've never seen any of these movies, this is going to be confusing for you. But
Yep.
also, this film is dumb as fuck, and it's kind of fun. But I guess we'll see what you guys' take is on it next week. Until then, you can find us on Twitter at Bad Numbers Pod. We're on Insta at BWN Pod. You can email the show at bwnpod@gmail.com. We have been Bad with Numbers from Toronto, Canada. Stay safe out there. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.